So, first thing on, the next thing on the agenda is introductions. To my left, Darius Thompson, Vice Chair. I'm Dwayne Staples, Chairperson. Dave Short is not going to make it tonight. And we do have our Select Board rep, the Select Chairman.
Good afternoon.
Next item is public comment. We have nobody. Next item is approval of the minutes for the August 23rd meeting. Darius, did you see any errors or omissions in that?
No, I do not. Do you?
No.
Make a motion to accept the minutes?
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The August 23rd meeting minutes are approved. The next item on the agenda was Kristen Murphy was going to come and talk about the tree donation that has been offered to the Swasey Parkway. She could not make it tonight either. So there has been some updated elm trees donated to the town. They are looking to possibly give the Swasey Parkway 3 of those elm trees to put down at the north end. They have been in communication with Dave Short about this. I know we had talked about it a while ago. We looked into it. They weren't supposed to be ready, and now all of a sudden, I think they have a dozen of them, is what they were saying. They have quite a few, because when they looked into it before, they were only going to be able to get 3 or 4 a year over a 5 or 6 year period. So I would like to see us accept this donation. We can make it in the form of a motion, and that would probably be the right thing to do. And we would find areas down on the north side. We do have some areas that we will be replacing some other trees, but I think down at the north side, there's probably been 4 or 5 trees cut over the last 8 to 10 years, so I think that would be a good place to start.
I would like to make it a formal motion that we accept the trees on the donation and that we can find a location for them that's suitable and to have them installed.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you for the donation.
Yes, that's from the tree committee. Correct. Yes. I had asked Kristen to maybe talk a little bit about the water bottle fill station. I want to keep that on as a placeholder. I know we probably, well, not probably, that will not get done this year, but I would like to have that figured out for next year.
Makes sense.
She has some preliminary figures of what the water usage and cost has been for the ones that were installed for the rec department. So I think we can maybe look at that as a baseline anyways moving forward. And I would like to also approach the select board and the budget committee, maybe not for next, well, it won't be for next year, but to have that part of the town budget moving forward.
That makes sense. If it's a community resource, that should be shared by the,
Yeah, and I think it's I think it's a good thing to have those down there. So
certainly.
Or one. I think that's what we're talking about is one. All righty. Next thing on the agenda is the update on the
no dog sign. All right. So what I have for the no dog sign is the template that will actually be used to make the final board. This was the original design we thought of with the circle The slash through it with a little dog as inside the circle. So it was suggested that we make this bigger and to include some language so that visually you can see the no dogs allowed, but this is the working template. It does not have the no circle on, but what it does have is this at the very bottom. So you will see, this will be on the no dog circle will be here, and that has the verbiage that says, no dogs allowed, $100 fine, which is consistent with the no dog sign for any of the parks that are in town. And I thought that that would be appropriate to use, and I think that's big enough print.
I would think that would be big enough print once we paint it on the sidewalk, absolutely.
And eventually, if it has to be, well, it'll be one piece, but it can be two pieces where they butt up against each other, so you just spray paint this and spray paint the other image.
I think maybe, just my opinion, I think two pieces might be easier to work with when they're trying to paint that.
Right, because when you fold this up, this is one big piece. It's about a half a sheet of plywood, so.
And I think if we try to fold that after we have painted all over it.
No, it's not gonna happen.
That may be a challenge.
Right.
So, no, thank you.
So this will be to be on plywood, to be cut out, and then the other piece will be the same as well. So.
Great. If there is anybody watching that wants to give any feedback to that, we would very much appreciate that. But Darius has worked on this since June, I think it was, when we first talked about this. So we're moving forward with that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next item is the planting behind the fence at the Harris Center. The stumps have been ground. The sidewalk was taken up. I know that Dave reached out to Jay Perkins about putting the sidewalk back in. The chips from the stump grindings we can use as we plant some new plant material in there. I think it's just a matter of us picking the plant material now.
Okay.
I know we've talked a little bit about some plant material, but I think we're at the stage where we can really pick what we want to put down there and hopefully move forward with that this fall. I want to talk a little bit more about that when we talk about our next meeting.
One question just for the plant material is we want to think ahead in the future of as those plants grow, they're going to butt up against the fence that's there.
Well, we'll
Right.
Again, because there was a challenge years ago about there used to be plant material along that fence many years ago, and it was a challenge to keep it pruned. And then there was an incident where it was decided to cut that out so that it was more open there. So I think we just pick a few plants and keep them away from the fence. And some plant material too that doesn't get real tremendously high or wide. And there is a number of plant material that we could be using there. So I think we need to keep all of that in mind too.
Certainly.
When we do along that fence. Less is more.
Right.
So I have the sewer project on just as a placeholder. I know that they've moved all the equipment out. I have received a couple of emails asking, the porta potty is still down there. Why is the porta potty still down there? And asking about why is the entire road still closed? And my answer to both of those has been, they're going to be coming back in a short amount of time. I think it's somewhere around the 1st of November, mid-November, something like that. I don't think that has been, we have a firm date on that. However, my comments have been that they're going to be moving all of those things back. We haven't really figured out a great turnaround to come in from the other end. And my first thought too, when they moved out, is why haven't we opened it up? But why are we going to open it up for 2 months and then close it back down again? And it really isn't even going to be for 2 months. So I know that there are some people that are anxious about the Parkway at the north end being open. It will be open per the vote, but I think at the moment, the right thing has been done by keeping it closed, waiting for the remainder of the sewer project to get done, and then and there's a couple of other things that I think we have talked about addressing with the select board. So that's where we stand with that.
That sounds fair, and it's the right thing to do.
So I just wanted to make sure that you knew that, Mr. Chair.
So thank you, Mr. Chair. We don't have an exact date as to when they're coming back, but I've heard sometime, either late October or early mid-November. And you're right about, the vote where it's only open. The update on that is we are working on getting sketches of possibilities for how that's going to work out. We've, town manager's given that in his town manager's report. When we get those final sketches or the first draft, then my plan is to invite the trustees to a select board meeting so that collaboratively we can meet and start the process. But I promised you and keep that promise that we'll be working together. So once that's ready to go, then we'll be inviting you to a select board meeting.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I know people are anxious to see the next part of the sewer project commence and be finished with. So,
But there will be one more process in the spring.
Right.
Before it's filed.
Right. Yeah. There's some landscaping and some other things, and I understand that. So, we will get there. We will get there. I know it's been a long, arduous journey, but we will get there. Tree pruning, again, that's the next item on the agenda. That's just there as a placeholder. We have had some pruning done, and we do have some other trees that need to come down. Unfortunately, with all the rain that we've had, some of that work has been delayed also. So,
Will that have to wait until the wintertime?
probably, yeah. And hopefully we get some colder weather so that the ground firms up, because we have to do some work across from the pavilion.
Okay.
And that's over by the green building, and that's a perpetual wet area when it's super rainy like it has been. Are there any questions on any of that
No.
stuff? Okay. Next item on the agenda, I want to combine is the Parkway landscape maintenance bid dates and the next meeting date, because there was an email that was sent out the second and third Wednesday in October are training sessions for all committees. They are both at 6:30. It doesn't necessarily affect putting out the maintenance bid, because I normally ask Pam to do that, and we usually put that out the last couple of weeks of October, and we target like a November date to open them and do that. We could still target that November date, because our meeting in November would be November 15th. That's well before Thanksgiving.
Right.
So if it's okay with you, Darius, let's pick those dates tonight. I'll get a hold of Pam and ask her to put an ad in the paper.
Certainly. Do we want to have I guess the question, do we want to have a meeting just to open the bids? Or do you want to combine the two?
I think last year we combined the two.
Yep,
We,
okay.
we did it earlier. We did it at like 4 o'clock.
Right.
And then we gave it a half an hour or so, and then we moved our meeting time up from 5 to 4:30.
Right.
So
That's fine.
unless, I think that worked out pretty well, I thought.
Yes.
That's
Fine with me, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So the only other thing would be our regular October trustee meeting. It should be the 18th, but the 18th is a training session at 6:30 at the library. I know I know our meetings aren't long. However, it would be that one meeting that might run over. So what I'd like to do is either pick like Tuesday or Thursday, or maybe in that third week, or even the Monday. What does your schedule look like?
So for Monday, this is a point of personal privilege. It's the greatest day of my life. I will not be available.
Okay, understood.
I will be on the golf course playing golf.
Understood.
But yeah, I could definitely meet if we need to meet on Monday afternoon. Monday.
No.
No, I'm saying I'm playing early in the day. It's no big deal. So
No, we could do Tuesday or Thursday.
either one's fine.
We could move it to the 25th.
It's kind of late.
But yeah, I think it's kind of late, and it's pretty close to the November one.
Right. Let's do it the 17th then.
I could look and see, we could even do it the week of the, maybe the 9th or 10th.
The 9th is a holiday.
Right.
Oh, that's right. Yep, sorry. I'm just looking at the regular calendar. Yeah. So
If you wanted to do it the 11th, we could.
the 11th is a training also.
Okay. So 17th is fine.
All right, let's. I'm not going to get into trouble if I ask Dave about meeting on the 17th via email. I can do that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
What time is that, 5?
Yeah, I haven't looked, do you have the schedule of the meeting room? Although we don't have to meet up here either, we can meet in the wheelwright room.
Well, your meetings are at 5, right?
Correct.
So I know there'll be a meeting on that night. You said the 17th?
Correct.
The ZBA at 7.
Okay, so
You're out.
yeah. I just, it's just one of those things I never want to think that we're going to be out early and then all of a sudden somebody comes up and we have a item that needs to be discussed for a long time. So, all right. So I will, let's plan on the 17th for our
That's
next
probably a
meeting.
good idea, because BRC is going to start, October 20th is their day long, and then after that, then they start tying us remote, so if you can get that done.
Yep,
Because they start at 6:30, so,
yep.
okay.
All right, so I'll let Pam know tomorrow that we'll be in on the 17th. That way, because I plan on being at both of the trainings. I don't know, did you get that email?
The chairs are supposed to distribute them.
Oh, okay, I apologize. I
Yeah,
didn't
that's okay.
realize it.
That's fine. Yeah.
I'll send that to you when I get home.
So there's 2, there's one's a 91A training, and one is all boards and committees.
So the 91A is the one we did several years ago. That a guy come in, so that's fine. That'd be a refresher. I'll ask. I have another question that's unrelated to this at all, but I need to ask you that later.
So those will be at the library. I will send those out. I didn't realize that the chairs were supposed to send those out.
And I may be the one that's supposed to tell you that, so.
Okay.
We're all covered.
Thank
We're
you.
all covered. Yeah.
So that comes to other business.
Other businesses, I'm glad you're here. That's a personal privilege. I'm just glad you're here.
I'm glad we're all here.
Yes.
Because
As well.
I think it makes it, it does make it easier. It's never easy, but it does make it easier.
Yeah.
So, all right. If
I have nothing else. I do have one thing else. So, motion to adjourn.
second,
So we have a discussion.
any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We adjourn at
5:21.
5:21. Thank you.
Thank you.